the hardest part about being in real estate is having good people in your corner, like Escrow and Title, and that's why you guys are so important. So, greetings, red tie community. It's the bald guy in the red tie, John Butler, your favorite bald-headed, red tie wearing human being, and show host of the red tie community, because I'm the only show host of the red tie community. Dang it! Take that. But in studio, ladies and gentlemen, we have two lovely ladies. We have Miss Jenny Bernardo with EBS Escrow.
Thank you for having me. So excited
Thanks
to be
for
here.
coming in. And also Miss Kambria Minton with Fidelity National Title.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen are like, why are you interviewing Escrow and Title people? What's the point? Well, I'll tell you what the point is. They are my cornerstones of the success of my business. They are the most important people that keep the show on the road, basically, and make sure it's not a bunch of chaos. A circus of monkeys, basically. Right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, we have a closing happening right now.
Yes, we do.
Even though we're in studio.
Right.
Like, that's how amazing you guys are. You guys can work your magic from the outer realms of your
We're
office.
superhuman.
Superhuman. I think
Superhuman.
Superhuman.
that's the best way to describe yourself.
Totally.
Yeah. So, Jenny,
Yes, sir.
how did you get into escrow? Because did you just like wake up one day and you're like, I want to be an escrow officer?
Yeah. I feel like that's how every young woman starts off her mornings. I actually, my grandmother started the company in the 1980s. We had a branch out in Tustin. And then my mom started the business out here in 1994.
Wow.
I used to work during high school summers, just trying to spend a little time with mom and learning the business. I went off to college, got a great education, but graduated in 2008.
Oh, good time.
Market wasn't terribly awesome at that point.
Right.
So I got a job working for a different company. Market started to speed up a little bit, and mom asked me out to dinner one night and asked if I would feel comfortable coming and working for the company, and that was in 2013. So I've been slowly building my business from there. Our office doesn't have a rep, so the way that I do it, I kind of liken myself to the tortoise. I'm slow and steady, slowly building my business, reaching out to amazing agents. I've been very lucky to partner with some incredible agents that have stuck with me for a while and hopefully continue to build it some more.
Well, and I think that's what's interesting is that, I get hit up a lot with escrow and title people. And,
I did. I hit you up.
Yeah. And I was,
You were not ready to make the move yet.
no, because I'm a loyalist. And
I
I think
know.
people in the industry know that because as we'll get to Cambria's story, she's been my title rep for 10 consecutive years. A lot of people go through title reps like they're like, nachos or something. I don't know.
Nachos?
I don't know.
Jalapenos.
Best description I can come up with at that spur of the moment. But I think you are only my third escrow officer in those 10 years. So welcome.
I'm so
to the
excited to be a
family.
part of the team.
Yeah. And so I think we started working together in like 2014 or 15, something
I think
like that.
so, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've just been flawless. And what I love about your service is that you will actually go to people's houses and get notaries signed and stuff like that. So you go above and beyond. And that's my heart of service with my clients is whatever it takes to get the job done. And you definitely have excelled at that.
I
So,
appreciate that. I definitely try.
Yeah, it's been fun. And every time I call you, like if there's a problem, you're like, John, there's a problem, but I already took care of it, and this is what's going to happen next. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, thanks for making my life easy.
Easy peasy. Well, that's ultimately what I think our job is because your guys' highest and best use is interfacing with your clients and making sure that they're comfortable with the process. And our job is to make sure everything behind the scenes gets done and taken care of and making your life easy. And I think that we really try to make that happen for you guys. I know sometimes we need to reach out and ask for help, which we're not afraid to do. But at the end of the day, we really want to interface with title and anybody else that we need to in order to make sure that the job gets done for you guys.
Well, and I appreciate that. My clients do too because, I sometimes forget how spoiled I am with you guys because, whenever, like sometimes if I'm representing a buyer and I don't really necessarily have control of escrow or title, then we have to kind of deal with what our listing agent has for their title people in escrow. And sometimes it's a nightmare. Like they don't call back. They don't, keep people updated. And you guys are just always on top of the ball. So it's been amazing. And Kambria,
Yay.
10 years.
10 years.
Has that not flown by?
Very much so. Very much so.
man.
Feels like it was yesterday.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like So a lot of people know my backstory, but I started in real estate in 2008. And if you remember September 2008, that was the worst time to get started in real estate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the building is burning down. The banks are going out of business, it seems like. Obama was about to be elected. I mean, the world was just in a state of chaos.
Yeah.
And here we are. 10 years later, we survived.
We did. We made it through.
Yeah.
Amen.
Gosh.
We did it once. We can do it again.
I know. When's that time coming around, huh?
I don't know.
You just never
if I
know.
had a crystal ball.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
I always say that if I had a time machine, I'd go back to 2008 and 2009 and just buy everything I possibly could.
Absolutely.
Yeah. God, everything's almost doubled in
I
this
know, it's
area.
incredible.
It's really
If not
amazing.
more.
I know.
If not more.
And so, Cambria, you've been very special in my life because, this was back during the Exit Realty days.
Yep.
And so you would always be at our little monthly meetings, and Susan would, in her shrieking Susan voice that she has, and she's the cheerleader. She's amazing. And she would have you come up and kind of drop some knowledge on us. Mm-hmm. And you were the go-to person for all the new agents to like, what's a farm? What's a title report? How am I supposed to read this kind of thing?
Right.
And so it's been cool. Do you remember the first time we met?
I do. I don't remember exactly the first time, but one moment that does stand out for me is when you got your first listing appointment. I still totally remember it like I'm there right now, and you were running down the cubes in the center, and you're like, woohoo, got my first listing appointment. Now what do I do? What do I do? So it was awesome because a lot of times I sit down with new agents and they're so focused on just going to training. For 9 months goes by. They go to my class sometimes 2 or 3 times, which is fine if you need a refresher. But you were the agent that just went out and did it.
Yeah.
Went out and did it. You did the training that you needed. Yeah. But then it was like, okay, we got to go. Let's do this. And you did do it. And you're rocking it. So you're absolutely fabulous at what you do.
And I've been wearing the same thing for 10 years.
Absolutely.
I literally have not changed.
Hopefully it's been washed.
Yeah, it's been washed. My wife is fantastic.
I would love to know how many red ties do you have and how
28.
many 28 and how many black shirts?
Probably about 8.
Okay.
And
Very
I just
nice to
rotate them
know.
out.
Reason why on 28 or just that's what
So
you have?
that's the joke because everybody always asks me how many ties that I have. So one day, a couple years ago, I just started saying 28, and they're like, "Why 28?" And I go, "One for every day of the month." And they think about it. I'm like,
wait.
It was in February."
I was like, wait a second.
That's good.
I already count that out. So I just say 28.
That's
so.
good. That's good.
How many I actually have, I don't know, because I order them from redneckties.com.
Very nice.
Not like redneck,
Right.
more like redneckties.com.
Okay.
So shout out
I'm glad
to
you.
them.
I'm glad you.
Somebody's going to start that business now.
No,
Red neckties.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I know, just have like a yokel-looking kind of fellow. Yeah, I'm from Bakersfield, so I could play that role.
Oh, that's good.
You better copyright
That's
that domain name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I think they should just give me free ties.
Oh,
Pretty
totally.
much.
Yeah.
That would be the best.
You could do all the PR website and all that.
So what do you guys see happening in real estate right now? Seems like a lot of agents are getting into it. Mm-hmm. It's almost like 2005 to 2007 all over again because unfortunately people have the perception that real estate's easy. And so they get into the business thinking, oh man, I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to sip martinis by the pool and not have to work. It's like,
Listings are going to fall in my lap and
Right.
buyers are going to sign contracts all the time.
Good Lord.
I don't know what you're finding right now, but it seems like the market is a little volatile right now. Every week is a little bit different.
Yeah,
We get
I
a lot
agree.
of inquiries for net sheets one week. Then we get a bunch of contracts one week and then minimal the next week. So and I don't know if it's just the nature of it being tax season, the beginning of the year.
You couldn't have said it better.
I
We're
don't-
feeling
I
the same
think-
thing. So
yeah.
one week could be awesome with openings for title reports.
Yeah.
The next could be a lot of listings, and then the next week's crickets. And we're
Totally.
like, okay, well maybe it's because it was spring break.
Yeah,
And then we're like,
it's like
well,
you try
maybe
to
it was
justify
taxes.
it.
So
Yeah.
I agree, very volatile, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Trying to put my finger on it myself.
Yeah.
But don't we do this every year?
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because when you have those weeks where the phone isn't ringing, you're
Yes.
like, "That's it.
I
I'm
freak
done.
out.
I gotta go get a job at McDonald's.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
If I make more.
I have a mini
McDonald's,
panic attack. My
$15
husband has
now.
to calm me down
Yep.
and feed me food while I'm in the fetal position at the corner of my room.
Drinking a bottle of wine.
Drinking a bottle of wine, like, I'm a failure. And then the
Typically-
next week it blows up. I'm like, I'm rocking it.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
killing it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
Typically,
next
I'll
week.
call management And I'll be like, hey, is
is
it just
everybody else?
everyone's openings that are down a little bit this month? Or is it just me? Cambria, you know what you're doing. Get out there and do what you do.
Yeah.
It's going to come. You're fine. So I do that about
That makes
twice
me
a
feel
year.
actually a lot
twice
better.
a year. Yeah. So
I thought it was
do.
just me.
No,
Like, I'm
everyone
the one
does.
freaking out.
And we're trying to figure out the market and trying to see what happens. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but we know that we've been through the market before. We'll get through it again, no matter what the market is. There's always a good market, whether it's a buyer's market or seller's market. But gosh, if we had that crystal ball, we could retire.
I'll tell you what. One thing I do see happening a lot is a lot of people moving out of California.
Oh my God,
Yes.
Idaho.
Tremendously.
Idaho a lot, and
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yep.
Idaho, Montana.
I
and
haven't
Arizona.
heard Montana yet. That's
Yeah.
a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Colorado.
Colorado. I've heard
Yeah.
Colorado. I've heard back east, like South Carolina.
Yeah. Had one go out to North Carolina, Texas.
Yeah.
Obviously, Texas is always a good one.
Right.
But yeah, so a lot of people are just kind of done with California and all the high taxes. It's like the nice weather only goes so far.
Yeah, that sunshine
Right.
tax.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like
bad.
you can get a beautiful house for $250,000 somewhere else, and it's like, 3,000 to 4,000 square feet or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you look at retirement, and even if your home is paid off in California, a majority of the people still, if you add in property taxes, electricity, water bill, and everything, with what you get on Social Security, you can't make it. You're struggling to make it by, and it's tough. So going out of state where you can get a home, sell yours here at a high cost, and then go to Arizona or Idaho and find something that you can pay cash for and still have some money in the bank.
Yeah.
Makes you feel a little bit more easier when you're doing that,
Yeah.
you know?
Would you guys ever do that? Do you see yourselves ever leaving California? I know we're kind of in our prime years
I'm
right
looking
now,
like,
so-
what are they going to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, we do.
Honestly, I don't. But I'm only in my early 30s. I don't have children yet, so the idea of knowing like what I like, that crystal ball thing. It's
Right.
like, I think the idea of traveling with children, it sounds incredible, but I don't know if I would want to live anywhere else.
I
Yeah.
know.
So I'm a little selfish that way, where I do love the community here. I was born and raised here.
Right.
So the idea of living anywhere else is kind of scary and intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to have the courage to do it. And if anything, me and my husband have been talking about, like, what if we did 3 months somewhere and
That's
then 3
what I
months
would love to
somewhere
do.
else?
Yes.
Like, what a cool opportunity to do
Yeah.
something like that, where you just kind of bounce around and figure out what feels like home.
And that's what the snowbirds do in the winter in
Totally.
Arizona, and they
Yes.
love it. They go out
Yes.
there from like November to April, and then they head back to Montana, Idaho
Yeah.
for the summer. So retirement for sure for me, probably most likely out of California, just because I don't know that we'll be able to afford to live here, and who knows if we'll have Social Security then.
Oh.
You know,
I don't think our generation is going to
yeah.
have it.
No.
So that's why
Out.
we have to do our best to educate our friends as well and buy investment properties. So that could be our retirement. I mean, you look at it, we probably won't have what we've been putting away for.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like you were saying earlier, people from Orange County have no problem moving over to Riverside County, Temecula at its finest. And
value
they're
that you
loving
can
it.
get.
Yeah.
Because we were going to buy out in Orange County when we lived out there, because that's where I thought my job was going to be.
Right.
And a fixer-upper in 2009 was $500,000.
Wow.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is impossible. My payment is going to be that I'm going to live on rice and beans. And
Right.
what kind of life is that?
Yeah.
But then the idea of commuting an hour and a half, 2 hours one way, so 4 hours on the road.
Right.
That it's like, I feel
20
so
hours a week just in the
yeah,
car.
I feel
Yeah.
so awful for people that is their only option,
Yeah.
which is so terrible to think
Right.
that is, because that's no way to live. That's just no way to live.
Right.
It's a challenge, and that's why I'm seeing a lot of the Orange County people and San Diego people moving into this area.
Yeah.
Because for those who are watching and that don't know where Temecula is, basically about 45 minutes north of San Diego and about an hour east of Orange County or so, depending on the 91 traffic, maybe 2 hours. But for $400,000 to $500,000, you get an amazing, beautiful home here.
Oh my God,
Whereas
incredible.
out there, like you were just saying, you get a condo.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And luckily, it seems as though some of the jobs these days are really embracing the telecommuting.
Yes.
Which is awesome. So if people work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and they can telecommute 1 or 2 days a week, that's a life changer.
It is.
Totally.
That's incredible.
It is.
Yeah, especially on a Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And then to be able to go pick your kids up from school, like those types of things, that's just not something that you can buy. That's incredible.
Yeah. Another thing that I love about this area is that within an hour, you could be at the beach, you could be in the mountains, the desert, the valley, wherever you want to go.
You don't get that in too many places.
No, so we're really spoiled.
How many wineries do we have?
Super spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they got so many in the pipeline to come too, which is so exciting.
Yeah.
So Napa, here we come.
Right?
Yep. Well, yeah, Temecula's wine country is going to be the Southern California Napa Valley, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So it brings that prestige, and then you got the Desperate Housewives or Housewives of Orange County or
Real
whatever.
Housewives of Orange County, better get it right, Buster. I watch all those shows.
My wife will grill me when she sees this. She's like, you should know better.
That's our guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I think it's every woman's. Do your husbands, do they get up and do they stay and watch? Or do they,
he
they
gets so
leave the room?
mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why you watch this.
Yeah. He's like,
Thanks.
all they do is scream at each other. And I'm like, I know, I love it. The worst.
I would love to hear a
awesome.
psychologist talk about why women love that kind of thing.
I have no idea.
It's like the drama.
Because I don't have any drama in my life. I think that's what it is because
You live vicariously through them?
I kind of, and also...
That's a good way to put it. That's true.
Yeah, living vicariously through them a little bit, but that whole drama would stress me out all the time. I think it's hilarious seeing what things they argue about.
Yeah.
Like there was one episode that they were arguing about not drinking out of a real champagne glass.
Goodness.
I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Let me show
Give
you
me
how
a red
it's done.
Solo
You
cup
just
and I'll
grab
be
the
fine.
bottle.
Yeah.
Who needs a cup?
Right?
Yeah. Go straight into it.
Yeah, it's a fun show. My newest one is Married at First Sight. Husband hates it. I love it.
I have not heard of this one.
TiVo it, and when you have those nights that
TiVo?
nothing's on.
How
I know
old
that's
are
old. That just happened to me last week. Someone said, "You said TiVo." I'm like, "Yeah, I pretty much did," and I still TiVo.
Oh my God.
Is that still a thing?
Huh? Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah,
Do
it
you
is
still
for
have the
me.
box?
I do.
Wow.
Yep.
That should be like a
I'm
white
turning
elephant
red.
gift.
My wife got me into a 90 Day Fiancé. Have you seen that one?
What is that?
No.
That one is where it's usually an American man wants to marry a lady from another country.
Okay.
And and so you
All the
usually-
dynamics to that.
Yeah, and you usually see the strong dynamic of, he's head over heels in love, and you can tell that the lady usually is like, okay, I just want to get in there, and then as soon as I get established, I'm going to leave you, and then I'm going to go find somebody else kind of thing. And these guys are just like, oh, but I love you, because they can't get,
But do they really fall in love? Is it like a love story, or does she end up
There's a
leaving?
couple.
Okay.
There's a couple genuine ones, but most of them you could be like, oh, yeah, this
no.
is... And it's painful to watch.
Oh,
What
boy.
countries are these women from?
A
Or is
lot
it
of
like
them-
a variety?
It could be from Asia. It could be
Okay.
from like Russia, like the mail order brides, that
Got
kind of
it.
thing. But it's interesting to see how they have to go through the K-1 visa process and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
You learned a lot from
Donnie got Melania, so
Right,
that
right.
obviously
Totally
works.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
Half the
funny.
viewers are like, ooh. That's all interesting, all this immigration stuff. But back to title. So you've been doing this for 18
I
years?
have. Yep.
Wow. So
Yep.
you started when you were like 10?
I know, right?
TiVo.
Zing.
TiVo, yeah. Started when I was 20 and started in customer service. Worked my way into escrow as an escrow assistant.
But how did you get, was it somebody like, hey, come join the business?
So somebody had told me I was so super unhappy where I was at. I was an executive assistant for a business owner and just was not thrilled there. And was at a dinner and somebody had said, hey, we're hiring over at Commonwealth. You guys should come check it out. And so I said, okay, well, what do I have to lose? Well, at that time, there's title companies have different divisions. So we here in Temecula are part of the Inland Empire division. And then San Diego has their own division. Well, because we butt up right to northern San Diego, San Diego snuck a satellite office up here in Temecula. Actually, now where Generations is, used to be in the that building in that office. So I thought I was applying to the San Diego division, and I was applying to the Inland Empire division. So I knew nothing about title, had no clue what title insurance was because I've never bought a home before, and who knows about title? Even when you do buy and sell, sometimes you still don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I went in, dropped off my application. And I actually, after an interview, faxed over a letter
Oh my
to
God, a
Frank
facsimile.
Vincent, you guys know who that is, and said I had a great time meeting with you. I look forward to the possibility of working with you. And he called me and said, your fax did it. So I was hired.
It's always those personal touches.
It is, and I still try to do those to this day.
Yeah, you do.
It is all about that. So
I always think it's so cute that every time I go to my mailbox at my real estate office, there's always a letter or a little note card or something like that. And like, you've been my title rep for 10 years. Like, you don't have to earn my business or whatever, but it's always a handwritten note. Thank you so much for the closing on such and such. And but that just is a testament to your
tchotchke to go with it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it during the holidays. I always get the CD, which you've been doing for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then with holiday songs and whatnot. Right. And then, by the way, my wife wants more notepads.
I will get them to her.
Yeah.
8.5 by
she loves
11
making her
or
little
the small
to-do list.
ones?
Huh?
The small ones or the big ones?
The small ones.
Okay. Done.
So hey, that's how you earn my business. Give me a stack of paper and we're good.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. No, she loves it. She literally asked me to get more of those.
Very cool. Yay.
There you go, honey.
Love you, Jen.
Right?
And that's kind of an interesting thing is that we kind of knew each other before we started working together.
Real estate, yeah.
Because my wife's best friend is Courtney.
Which is my cousin.
Is your cousin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the segue,
the roundabout
I guess.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of how I felt, because you were the first agent that I really felt comfortable essentially saying, hey, if you ever need a secondary option, I'd love to be that option for you, because we had that connection that way.
Yeah.
And I had seen you at a couple family events, so it was a little boost to my confidence to be able to feel comfortable going and talking to you about that, because normally
It's hard to do that.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
It's hard to do, even after 18 years.
Yeah.
Hard to do it.
Yeah, it's not something I think I will ever feel comfortable doing.
Nope.
But fake it till you make it.
Right.
Well, and I say no to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, you said no to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's over 5,000 real estate agents just in this area. And then I don't even know how many title and escrow people.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot of people.
Very qualified people, too. That's what makes it so hard to get going and to meet new people and to have a conversation with an agent that you'd love to be on their team, because my competition with some of these other escrow officers, it's hard.
Right.
The people, like most of them are women. There's a few men, but they are incredibly talented.
Yeah.
So it's then trying to find out, like, it also could be a personality thing too, is that you just instantly click with somebody and it's like, I can't explain it. It's just, I love this person. She's on my team and I'm just going to stick with her.
Yeah.
And then once somebody's on my team, then it's like I try really hard to make sure that they feel like they made a good decision, but it's hard.
Well, and I think what I'm seeing out there too is because there's brokerages out there that their splits are so good with with real estate agents, is that they are trying to find another avenue to stream in some money.
Like an in-house escrow or
So there has been so many independent escrow companies open up, or real estate owned escrow companies open up, and so the competition truly, I feel, has almost doubled, if not even more than that since then. And even with title, I feel like title reps, we've doubled with reps. So it's a struggle out there, and you have to find
minimal things that you guys can do.
That's why you have to be yourself, love what you do, and give the best service you can do. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So.
And from an agent's point of view, the reason I love working with you guys is because it's an intuitive thing. It's kind of like a well-oiled machine, like a great baseball team or something like that. It's like, I love it when there's an issue that you guys have already caught that I'm not even aware of yet, and you're like, John, there's an issue, but we took care of it, and don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Totally. Yeah.
And then I also love that you guys will jump in the trenches with me. So if you need to explain something in detail, because I like you guys to be the experts of your expertise, basically, escrow. So if my client has an escrow question, it's like, I don't want to explain those details to them.
Delegate.
Talk to Jenny. Talk to Kambria.
Yeah.
And you guys always come, shining through. So
I know there's
it's so
been many
important.
times where we've done conference calls or you just shoot me a text, hey, XYZ has a question on vesting. Here's their number. Reach out to them. Done. So,
Yep.
and I know you've
Yeah.
done that even
Yeah.
more probably. So,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure it's the same. But yeah, no, and that's honestly, I feel like that's what I feel like we're here for. Is
Yeah.
that's just our job. That's part of our job description is to be
Right.
here to chat with your clients whenever you need them. And
but that's what's going to set us apart from everybody else is because not everybody does do that. Keep that in mind.
Well, that's
you know?
huge. And I was I think before the show, we were talking about how there's some escrow companies, and I don't know if they're just slammed or their customer service just sucks. It's usually the ones that are out of town, and so they're like, oh, well, you're not a local agent, so I don't care, kind of thing.
Right.
But I've had some
Sad.
ones where my clients are just pulling their hair out. And I'm like, oh, I wish we were with Jenny or with Kambria right now,
yeah.
Well, it's hard because through a transaction, your clients, your buyers and sellers, deal a lot with escrow. So you've done your part to get them into escrow.
Yeah.
And now you have to trust your team once you're there because the end result, the final taste they have in their mouth is
Yeah.
the escrow experience.
Yes.
Totally.
And it could be one thing that the escrow officer or title did wrong, and that's ruined their taste in the mouth. And you work by referral,
Yep.
So you want to shine. We want you to shine so that
Yeah.
your clients are happy, so that we all in turn get more business together.
I think that nails it right on the head.
Yeah.
And because it only takes one little issue, like at the beginning of escrow, if things get set off onto the wrong path, it's like
Yeah.
having a pebble in your shoe for 30 days. And so every time you talk to the client, if they're not happy about something, it always kind of surfaces and comes up.
Yeah.
Not that it's been with you because you guys have
No,
been flawless.
I know
but
it kind of funks with your groove a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Because, happy clients, happy life. Or it doesn't rhyme as well,
yes.
but
Yeah.
same thought. So,
Yeah. Well, and I have also found too that oftentimes just a simple phone call will get the job done. If there's some anxiety or some confusion,
Yeah.
I think that with our digital age, it's very easy to either shoot a text
Yes.
or an email to try to get the problem solved.
Yep.
But
Sometimes
a
that
good
can be
old-fashioned,
misconstrued.
yeah,
though,
a
you
good
know?
old-fashioned phone call, really, because you don't get tone and inflection
Yes.
in email.
I agree.
And something just saying like, "Hey, how's this going?"
Right.
Versus, "Hey, how's it going?" Like
Yeah.
you don't get that when
Even though you're saying that when you do voice to talk, hey, how's it going? But the
Yeah.
text, it's very
Flat and
monotonous.
monotone.
yeah, totally. So it's like sometimes I know it's extra work and extra time, but
But
those
it's
little
worth it.
details really set, I think, any transaction apart from the others.
Right.
Big time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, tonality is so important because it's not necessarily what you say, it's but how you say it.
Totally. Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah.
In every aspect of life.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right?
because it's a relationship business.
Absolutely.
And so if a client is not happy, then it just has a ripple effect. And I like happy people.
Right?
So that's why-
Sometimes you just can't make some people happy. There's
Yeah.
going to be those few and far between people, but all you can do is just focus on how you react to
Right.
it and just be, everything's okay, and then just keep moving forward because
Yeah.
there's always going to be those few people that are going to just be
Oh, it doesn't
grumpy.
matter what it is. They'll find
does.
something to complain about.
Yes.
I had a
Yes.
client one time complain about the envelope being too big. That escrow
no.
sends, they're like
Yeah.
big envelopes or something
Yeah.
like that, and it was too big. I was like, okay, sorry.
Alrighty. I don't know what to
Jeez. Can't imagine being married to you, but
Right?
all right.
Wow.
Yeah, so people
Just
complain about
silly.
anything, it seems like.
Yeah, some people are just grumpy gusses.
Yeah.
And all you can do is just try to make maybe them smile a little bit when you talk to them, but sometimes they're just going to continue to be grumpy gusses.
Right.
And I think it's always important to be mindful that we do this on a daily basis, but a lot of these people, this is maybe only their maybe first, second, or third time that they'll ever do this in their
Yeah.
entire life.
Yeah.
And we do this, multiple times
Right.
a day or a week or whatever.
And you
Right.
may not know what really they're going through.
Yeah.
Maybe they had some just really awful news and it's coming out on you. I think that's one thing that I've learned in this business
Right.
is trying not to take things personally because I am incredibly self-conscious about my ability to do my job well and can be an asset and also a detriment too because I could beat myself up over
Yeah.
not doing something small or making a small mistake or any kind of size mistake.
Right.
But not taking things personally, how people talk to you, because you never know maybe what they just went through
Right.
on the like earlier that day, or a phone
true.
call that they just got before they got on the phone with you. So just kind of being more mindful of that is, I think, a challenge that I'm going to struggle with forever, but I'm trying to be more mindful of it this year. That's one of my things. I'm trying to focus.
That's an excellent goal. That's
Yeah.
good.
Is that your word for the year? Focus.
Focus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes,
good one.
that's going to be my word focus. My
be.
word focus will be focus.
That's good. No, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
perfect.
No, that's a good one. Do you have a word for the year at all, John?
I read that book, so what's it called? The One Word or something like that?
Never
Oh.
read the book, but I know the theory behind
The
it.
theory.
I love it. So,
So-
maybe I should read the book.
I would say this year it's mindfulness
Okay.
and being present, especially because right now, my stage of life, I'm 36, 3 kids,
I was
12,
gonna
10, and
say,
7.
You're 3 boys.
Yeah. And because, the early years in real estate, it was all about being the top producer, getting those trophies or selling X amount and making X amount of money. It's all about numbers. And I think we were kind of chatting about this pre-show, but there's a Bob Marley quote that said, if you base your happiness on numbers, numbers never end. So you're always chasing happiness, right? And that really hit me. And then also I had some advice from an old guy that said, you can climb the ladder of success, but if you get to the top and realize that your ladder was on the wrong building, then have you really succeeded?
Oh, or that you're all alone up
Wow.
there, too.
Yeah.
Drop the mic, man.
Well, you see a lot of people,
Right.
and I'm very much wired that way, where I'm a workaholic. I would just dive into creative projects or whatever because
too.
I love doing that.
Yeah.
But if you burn so hot that you burn everybody around you, and then you get to the moon and you realize you're all alone, then is it really worth it? Not so much.
Yeah.
And I think also, sorry, what's your
No.
word? Let's focus on this.
Oh, mine's better.
Better?
I always do a word a year. So better wife, better mom, better employee, better rep, better friend.
Yeah.
So just
And,
better.
and sometimes it's just 1 degree.
Absolutely.
It's
sure.
not totally changing your golf swing, but sometimes it's just that 1 degree that
Yep.
you're either in the weeds or you're right down the
Right.
fairway, which I went golfing for the first time a month ago, so I
Yay.
How'd
know
it
these
go?
terms.
Did you have the
Really
patience
well.
for
It was with
Good.
Kyle Dalton, and
love
so
Kyle.
Yeah.
he was on the show, and
Yeah.
we have the whole golfing episode on there, and we recorded it, so it was very interesting.
Did you actually go to a range, or did you go to just a
Temecula Hills
a
Golf
course
Course.
or a range?
Yeah, the real actual golf course.
Oh,
Very
how long did it
cool.
take you to do 18 holes?
Well, we did 9
Oh, how
because
long
it
did
was
it
like
take
2.5
to do 9?
hours.
Yeah, that's
don't know,
the
I-
thing.
I'm
It
only
takes
good for
all
9.
day.
Yeah.
It takes all day.
It's very peaceful, very relaxing.
Is it? I feel like
Yeah.
I would get so frustrated.
I was worried about hitting
Yeah.
houses.
Yes,
You know
that
what I mean?
too.
Yeah.
My parents live on one of those holes. I want to say it's like the 7th or 9th. So next time you go,
Very cool.
let me know. Mom will hand you over a margarita if you
Oh,
want
that's
one.
nice.
But yeah, no, I'm only good for 9 holes. I'm good for 9. And
never
then after
played.
that, I'm
It's
like,
too much.
okay, drink cart. I'll drive the cart.
I feel
yeah.
like I would rather
Yeah.
be the caddy.
Yeah.
Like I'll do that. Well, I won't carry the clubs. I will drive and I will pass out
Yes,
booze.
Yeah.
That's what I'll
absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
Make the good times.
It's
Seems
fun,
like there's a
though.
lot of golf tournaments around here for the
Well,
business.
Oh,
there
yeah.
is, there is, and that's what we used to do all the time was the golf tournaments. But I had to make sure I have my own set of clubs. But I had to make sure whoever I golfed on the foursome with that they were okay if I bowed out at 9 and just drove the cart and had a
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
Because some are very into it and they, score matters. So
Yeah.
but we had fun back in the day. We sure did with that.
Those are good
so
times.
yeah, enjoy it. You have to have patience.
Yeah.
Maybe
That'd be
it'll
fun
make
for you to bring the
calm,
boys out,
quiet
too.
down.
Yeah, I don't know how much golfing we would get done because we would just
You
be
go to the
Goofing
putting-
off.
you could be
Could be hitting each other, playing
Yeah.
swords or
You would.
something. Yeah. Throwing each other's, ball into the pond or something like that. Yeah.
I could see that for
Yeah.
some reason, totally.
Yeah.
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 They're a handful. But I'm being
But so
mindful.
worth it.
I'm being
Be
mindful.
mindful.
Good, good,
Mindful.
good.
Oh, that reminds me. That was one thing I wanted to chat about too. Is that I think another struggle that we all have too is trying to find. Because me and my husband were talking about this last night. Is trying to define our own form of success.
Yeah.
Because everybody's definition of success is different, and I think that's what I struggle with too. Is that my definition of success is very different from my husband's.
Right.
And I try to compare myself to my husband.
Right.
And I'm never going to be him, and I
Right.
don't want his path of success. So now it's
Right.
just trying to figure out what that means.
Right.
And what that means then for you being mindful with everything that you're now taking on with
Yeah.
work and the new, like a role then with the boys as they're getting older, and Jen and everything.
Right.
And then you with your family and everything like that.
Right. And having a child, a lot of people in this industry have heard me say that I have one shot at this with my son Mason.
Do you have one?
One and done.
Okay. One and done.
And I get one opportunity to be the best mom that I can be. So at this point in my life, I don't want to close $5 million a year in title fees.
Yeah. Why?
Because that I would be amazing, financially. But with my family life, so not worth it. So not worth it. So, a lot of the networking events that go on in the evenings, I'm not at them anymore because my little one comes first. And when I got pregnant, my husband said, no more of the evening functions. Like, we're here, we have a child now. And I've been very, very faithful to that. There are some nonprofits that I do like 4 times a year that I make sure that I try to attend. But other than that, I talk to agents all the time and I say, where do you want to be? Do you want to close 10 this year? Do you want to close 100 this year? And
one is sacrificing. You're gonna sacrifice one.
I feel bad because you talk to some agents and they're like, gosh, I got to do the best. I got to do the best. Like how you were in the very beginning and you did phenomenal and still are. Yeah. But I think you've come to the realization that I'm good doing this. Yeah. And because I don't want to sacrifice the family time and the things that we treasure in life. So I'm glad that you brought that up because I hate seeing agents sit there and feel like they have to do what the top producers are doing when in reality, if you have kids, I'm okay with closing. Yesterday, an agent said, I'm good closing 1 a month.
That's
she's
fantastic.
like, I could have a great life on that. And yes, you can,
Yeah.
So you just got to know where that bar is.
Well, and it's true because, we're blessed in this area that homes do sell quickly and, the average commission's, usually around maybe $10,000, $12,000 or $8,000 or whatever that might be. But if you do 1 or 2, I admire those people that can do 50 plus deals a year in transactions. But if you actually break it down and look at it, it's a little deceiving because they have 10 people on their team.
I would love to see the P&L on that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The financials on that team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, a lot of these agents will tout, I did 120 transactions.
Yeah, but how much you bring home?
You have 10 people, so really everybody did about 12 transactions, which is still good.
Absolutely.
But
when you
it's a little
look
bit
at
of card tricks there.
It is, but a lot of people don't look at it that way. They look at the teams that are closing over 100 deals a month. Or a year, and then you look at the actual P&L of it, and the agent that closed 1 a month is probably making the same. I don't know. I'm guessing on numbers right there. But, and do you want the stress of all that?
Yeah, because with that
do you do a team? Do you not do a team?
Yeah.
So
because I've been a one-man show for the past couple of years, and I like it that way because when you start to manage teams and human beings and their lives, it's like it's hard enough to manage your own life and then your clients' expectations and stuff. And then because you have a lot of agents where if you're a team leader, they look at you like, okay, well, give me deals kind of thing. And it's like,
absolutely.
well, so I don't know. I've never been much onto the team thing, but that seems to be very prominent right now.
Right.
Oh, it's like blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like if you're not on a team, then you're not considered successful, right?
That is totally what people are looking at too, the agents. They feel that they need to be a part of a team. Yeah. And if they're not, then they're not labeled as success. Yeah. And I hate seeing that.
Which is so sad because you can totally make it on your own.
I've tried the team thing before and it's just so not for me. I had a rep that I hired on as a junior rep and I had a few clients come to me and say, Cam, what are you doing? Like, this is not a good fit. Yeah. And it lasted a little while, and we're done. And now I know that's not my avenue. So I have my amazing assistant, Rose, and she's on the back end of everything and handles everything that I need help with. And she rocks it for me, and that is what works for me. Yeah. I won't be getting into the team thing.
Well, it always comes down to when I did try to have partners or agents and stuff like that, it seems like there's always one side that felt like they did all the work and then they didn't get compensated effectively kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was usually me because I was, in this business, you can tend to want to control all aspects that you can. And so then when you have to cut, half of your check to somebody else, it's like,
that hurt.
I don't know if that was worth it because what did you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to get a team in here and kind of pick their brains about it.
Oh, definitely. I was just going to say it would be
like
super
a team leader on their own, maybe from a different area, and I don't know. It's just interesting.
Well, because you have your perspective of being a one-man band and then having like a couple team people come in and chat.
And it's not that you're not willing to share because the team thing didn't work for me, and anyone who works with me at Fidelity or previous companies know I share everything that I do, and it has come to my detriment where they have gone to another company and now they're doing what I was doing and they're not creating their own secret sauce.
Yeah.
So it's not for a lack of sharing. And I know you share I've seen you have no problem getting up and sharing what you do. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. Just we know it doesn't work for us, and we know that we can hold ourselves accountable.
Well, because there's a fine line, because then you can feel taken advantage of.
Oh, yeah.
And you certainly don't want that to happen. So it's then trying to find the team that works well together. Right. So maybe that's the linchpin in it all, is that you're just trying to figure out what is the dream team that you're then trying to create there, where it's like a cohesiveness where everybody's working together for.
Yeah, the ones that pull it off and do it well, it's truly magic.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of them crumble after so long.
And it can be done. And it can be done very well.
Yeah.
It's just far and few between.
Yeah.
And I wonder what will happen with the teams, obviously, if we do see a correction in the market. I wonder what will happen with those teams, if they're going to try to stick together and do auctions, or, it's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, well...
we will see it again someday,
pivot,
but I don't know when.
Yeah.
Well, we also have technology on the horizon, or actually it's not even on the horizon, it's kicked down
here.
the door and it's here. And so you hear about Zillow instant offers and all this kind of stuff.
Purple
and
brick and...
Yeah, like Beef Wellington, he was on the show, I think, last week. He was talking about that, how... there's always going to be that segment of the population that I could do it myself kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And they're usually the D personality types. They're the ones that are like, they're the ones at the grocery stores that do the self-checkout.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to wait in line. I can do it myself, right?
I can do it all by myself.
And I think what we're going to see with technology, with Zillow and all these instant offers, is I think the pendulum's going to swing where a lot of for sale by owners are going to try to do it themselves. But then eventually what I think is going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. There's going to be a lot of miscommunications, because we've all been in this long enough to know that sometimes it's that fine little personal touch that you do to bring a deal together, or to keep it together, or to keep people from out of court and suing each other. But when you have technology and it's just kind of the interface, it seems great, like you can just market your own property, but there's so much to the process of legalities and liabilities and stuff. So I think a lot of lawsuits are going to happen, and they're going to be like, okay, maybe we should go back to the realtors, and then I think it'll swing back. So
And those will probably start coming out in the next couple of years. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to work through those, but I have no doubt that those are probably going to show up. But another thing that I've heard too is that people who start using those systems have actually been receiving offers that are drastically lower than what they would get had they used a real estate agent.
Right.
And the difference is that of what they would make is much more than, let me see how I'm going to word this. The commission that they would pay to the agents is less than the difference in what they'd receive had they used a real estate agent.
Right.
So it behooves them to use a real estate agent, because you're going to end up making more money. The commission is just a small portion of what, in addition, you're going to make.
Right.
Because you got like all of that ammunition behind you. You got the marketing plan. You got the knowledge base. You got all of these other avenues that they reach out to with their sphere of influence with other agents, saying, hey guys, I got this marketing or I got this listing coming up. It hasn't hit the market yet. Do you have any buyers? I see that happen all the time at the Tuesday morning meetings.
Yeah.
Right.
It's incredible to see that stuff.
And you know what, speaking of secret sauce, what people don't realize that I do is that I actually market to other agents.
Smart.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
super
mean?
smart.
Yeah.
Because over the past 10 years, I've built such a network throughout this valley of real estate agents and stuff like that. So when I do release a house, I literally have people write me like, John, I read your listing description, and I hope we can do a deal together, just because I think you'd be fun to work with, kind of thing. You know? And so you do those little things, because then when I release a property, it gets multiple offers, and then it gets the client the highest amount of money and stuff like that. So that's really the secret sauce. It's not necessarily any of those silver bullets like a lot of agents like, well, if I have this one system, this website, it's going to make me $1 million. Like, no, you got to have...
Yeah.
You got to create that spider web of...
It's also creating a good
awesomeness.
reputation around town, too.
Yeah.
Like, you've created a great reputation around town. And I think that oftentimes that is an incredible secret sauce, with you having a listing coming up saying, oh, my God, you have to go in. They may show that house to their buyers, saying, this is an awesome agent. If there's any issues, I know he'll work with us. Same thing on if you represent a contract for a buyer that you're working with. Another agent may want to not incentivize, because that's not legal, but like saying like, this agent, I've worked with him before, he's incredible to work with, I know that this won't be a problem.
And he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
First deal one a year.
He's not bringing a buyer to the table that hasn't been pre-qualified. He does his
Right.
homework.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
You hit it right on the head, because on the flip side, when you have a bad reputation, and there are agents in this town that have that
We're all shaking our head yes,
Yes.
we know.
Yes.
We know. We're probably all thinking the same person too. But there's some people in this business where they just destroy the reputation, or they're just known for being difficult to work with, or they're just a problem, or they're dramatic, or whatever. And so clients truly don't understand how important it is to pick the right agent, because if you hit your wagon to the wrong person, you're going to go on a journey you probably are going to regret.
Yeah. That's why some agents or some buyer or sellers find it difficult to sell a property with a certain agent.
Yeah.
And then when they list it with another agent, boom they get
sells.
a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
I was talking to an agent that we're in escrow with, and she's fantastic. She's great to work with. But she has this listing near my house, and it was listed for a year with another agent. And she said that when she took over the listing, so many people called her and were like, "Oh, thank goodness, we've been calling and trying to get into this property, but the agent would never answer his phone."
You've got to be
No, and
kidding.
it was almost $1 million property.
It happens
No,
quite a
it
bit.
does not.
I
Yeah.
hear it all the time.
So
Yeah.
the biggest complaint for sellers or for
Sad.
clients anyways
That's
is
awful.
lack of communication.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
But so, ladies and gentlemen, truly, truly, truly pick your agent wisely.
Absolutely.
If it's not me, contact me and I'll tell you who the right agent is.
Yeah. I'll
I'll
weed
do
them out
that.
for you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, for sure.
I've done that before. Because like there's like Kim Meeker over in South Temecula. She's got that place dialed.
Yeah.
Like if somebody wants to sell in Wolf Creek, I would just say, you know what? Hey, Kim, I'm going to refer a client to you because she's got
Right.
it dialed.
Yeah.
And I do that because I don't have that ego anymore where it's like, no, I got to have all the transactions for myself. It's like, I want that person to be truly blessed and served
Right.
by the right client and the right
Right.
agent combo. So
And the thing with that is that it's like just putting good juju out there.
Right.
It's like you're putting good vibes out in the universe that like you give to get. It's like there's no better way to build your business than to give away your knowledge, give away a client that would be best served by another agent. And then it all comes back tenfold.
Have you read
really
the book
does.
The Go-Giver?
No.
Phenomenal book.
I know you like that one.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Red book. It's called The Go-Giver. Marie LaPresto gave it to me over in the exit days, and it's a read that you could read like every year almost. And it just goes to show you give out goodness, it's just going to come back.
It always
It's
does.
just gonna come
I think
back.
people get so nervous about doing it, like
No,
giving
it feels
giving
good.
away.
Feels good.
It really does. And
Yeah.
then like giving away like your knowledge base and
Yeah.
like just being in a state of giving all the time, things just fall in
Right.
your lap.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing. I've heard people talk about it and I was like, no way. And then we started practicing it and it's like, this is
Right.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
really cool.
Well, as a title rep, that's what pretty much if you were to ride with me for the day, my appointments are with agents and I see where they're at in their business and
Give
okay,
value.
here's what I know. There's a new product out for that. Check
Yeah.
it out. I'll hook you up with this guy. Reach out to this. Let me help you with that. And it's just giving the knowledge that we have out to them to try to make them an even better agent. That's what we try. You do it too in escrow without even knowing it.
Yeah.
You know? So
Well, because on the flip side, there's takers, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to stay away from a taker because you always feel like you're going to be taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
And there's agents or reps or whatever that are they're just slimy, and you can
Yeah.
just tell that they're going to try to screw you over at any given
Suckers.
chance.
Just
Yeah,
Life suckers.
yeah. Energy
and I
sucking
let them
vampires.
do that. I let them do it because they're just going to dig their own hole
Yeah.
and just.
Oh yeah,
You know?
and you find out real quick who those people are too. So when
Absolutely.
they call and need something from you,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I'll get to you. Don't
Yeah.
worry. And you get to them, but maybe not as quickly.
As it would be when John
Oh,
calls.
when John,
Thank you.
when John calls, it's
Right?
like within the hour. But like, if another agent calls, and especially when you're
Yeah.
trying to figure it out, like you want to be as responsive as possible.
Absolutely.
But if they start calling, just needing stuff,
Right.
I'll get it to you, not a problem.
Right,
But a little bit.
Not a high priority.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
right. I have called people on it before when they call reaching
See, I'm
out for
afraid to do
stuff.
that.
You
I
know,
don't think I could do that.
You get to a certain point where you're okay saying something. Literally, where I have not seen a single deal from them, but they love the product that they are using from us.
Right.
Yeah.
And somehow they no longer have access to it, and they're calling me for it. And I finally said, you know what? I would love to give you access back to that product, but as soon as you send over a title deal, I'll make sure it gets turned on for you.
Yeah.
I said, just as I hope you could understand, turn the tables as much as you're taking a buyer out and showing properties to them, you would hope that they wrote the offer with you. It's the same thing. We're giving, and we want to partner up with you. So if we're not the right partner, it is what it is, but I would love to get you turned back on.
Yeah.
Guess what? I had a title deal the next day from them.
There you go.
Turn them back on, we're good.
We're good to go.
Gotta do
So
what you
you'll
gotta do.
eventually
solved.
get to the point where,
Yeah.
you know what, if not, you're just going to keep getting taken advantage of,
Very cool.
So
Well, ladies, it's been an honor and a blessing to work with you guys, and I'm so grateful that you took time out of your busy day, which is in the middle of the
course.
day, to come out and chat about all these things and these wonderful memories. And if anybody wants to use Ginny at EBS Escrow,
You can call me on my cell, which is 949-734-9150, or they set up my fancy little name. Whoop. Right there. That has my office number on there too. You can call either number. I'd love to work with you.
and Miss Kambria.
yay. If you guys want to reach out to me, my number is 951-704-3933. If you're an agent watching this, we'd love the opportunity to help you with your business. If you're a buyer or seller, we'll be working with you with John, and know that I'll be reviewing every prelim for you and making sure that you guys are in the know of everything that's going on in your prelim. So I want to say thank you, John.
Yes.
I've worked with you behind the scenes forever, and I truly do know that you put your heart and soul into everything that you do. A lot of your clients do not see that behind the scenes. I see that because I see you in the trenches getting everything done, and little do they know what you do. So thank you for being you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
And love you much.
Thank you so much, ladies. Well, that's it for this episode of the Red Tie Community, because these ladies are in my community, and I have a red tie because I'm the ball guy in the red tie. John Butler, your favorite red tie wearing host on the Red Tie Community Show, saying see ya, Nestro.
Woohoo!